guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny. We do book things here, and today we're going to talk about ACOTAR Thoughts and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. One of you on my second annotating video said that you would love to know more of what stood out to me in ACOTAR Thoughts and Roses after reading it, and more about my annotation system for this. So I'm excited to tell you more about it. Now, I do have a couple of caveats going into this video. And that is, if you have not read the entirety of Sarah J. Maas's novels, this video may not be for you. If you're not okay with being spoiled to some of the endings of the novels, then I say this video is for you. Which on the internet now, I feel like this is a known thing, but if you do not want to be spoiled for House of Sky and Breath, the second one in the Crescent City series, please X out of this video now. I don't want to give you any spoilers. I don't want to ruin that experience for you, because when I finished that book, it was like a fever what the fuck moment, and I don't want to ruin that what the fuck moment for you, because it's totally worth it. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, take a sip of my drink, and you exit out of the video if that's you. Okay? Okay? Okay, you still here? Cool. So, my thoughts on reading ACOTAR Thoughts and Roses after finishing all of Miss Maas's books. First off, how did she plan this mess out? Because there is a lot of foreshadowing, even in this one, that I may be making connections because I've read them all, but there is some foreshadowing in here to later books. Did you, sit down and just plan all that out in your head of yours beforehand? Because Miss Maas plays a long game. I said that at the end of Kingdom of Ash, the last one in the Throne of Glass series. But she plays a long game. She truly does. So, my annotation system for this one, let's just go over that real quick. The pink/red tabs are things I loved. Purple, which is the greenish tabs, but you can't really tell there's two greens. So anything I wrote in purple was things that I found relatable, and at one point I think I did with Reeson too. I wish I had done all of Reese's in purple, but, blue was quotes that I loved. Green was angry/questions. Gray was supposed to be notes, and then the brown was supposed to be other. Now, as of finishing the annotation, what I wish I had set colors aside for, because I did the colors before going in, because I figured that's the ones I was going to need. I wish I had set one for foreshadowing. I wish I had set one for character descriptions, because we get Lucian, Timlin, Freya, Nesta, Elaine. I don't think they describe her father after she comes back. Reese, the Auditor, I could be saying that wrong, and then Reese's maids. We get all their descriptions in here, and some of the High Lords. And I wish I had set aside a color for that, just so I could find them later, because I'm really bad with what characters look like in my mind. Kind of like, side note and random tangent, but Danka in Crescent City, I have always imagined her as being either mixed or black. Just FYI, I have always pictured her with melanin in her skin, and I was looking up pictures just to, because I like to have the book covers, and sometimes, pictures and stuff for the books, download it, and so I was trying to make one for the Sarah J. Maas multiverse, just so I had them for when I start rereading them, because I'm going to reread all the books, hopefully before the new Crescent City comes out. And your girl saw a characterization of Danka and was like, that's not how I saw it. I'm sure Miss Maas described her, because she describes the ones in here very well. But that's kind of like Summer Court. I always saw them with melanin in their skin too. Like, all of them. That's just how I pictured them in my mind. So yeah, just side note. I always thought Nick was black. Maybe that's me projecting or whatever, but I did. And then Bryce, a lot of the pictures I've seen of her, she is like a mid-size queen, and I always thought of her as a plus-size queen. That's just how my brain works. But back to Court of Thorn and Roses. Things that stood out. First off, this is going to be controversial. The first time I read this, and first time I read A Court of Mist and Fury, I thought Tamlin was fucking evil. Okay, most of us think Tamlin's fucking evil. Rereading this, and reading, and knowing what I know of A Court of Mist and Fury, this may change once I finish it next month. I don't think he's evil. I think he is scared and a coward. Those are the two words I describe him. I don't think he's evil. I don't think he's paying enough attention to Freya to know what locking her up is doing to her. He is too concerned and too occupied with running his own court and trying to rebuild the court and be there for his people that he does not understand what's happening to the love of his life. Like, he does not see that she's starving. He does not see that she's, fading away, locked in the mansion. Like, I don't think he sees that, because even into this, I honestly didn't even realize. I thought, oh, look at him begging the first time I read it. Now I'm like, he is weak. Like, he didn't even try to fight for her. He didn't even try to stand up against, how do you even say her name? Armessa? I don't think that, they took our pronunciation guides from us. And I think my library doesn't even have the old one. I think it has a new one too. Well, shoot. If you read this when it was coming out, there was a pronunciation guide for all the names of every character in this book, and like the creatures and everything. That's not in this one. This is one of the newer prints because I lost my original one. Somebody brought it, never give it back, and so I had to order this one. Anyways, he does not fight against her. Instead, he's like on his hands and knees and begging. Where Reese is throwing shit and like he's about to burn the fucking world down. You can just tell. The second thing that stood out to me, Reese knew who she was. Reese knew how he felt beforehand. And you can't tell me he didn't. There is too much foreshadowing. He does too much shit that he doesn't need to do. No matter if he's trying to make friends with Tamlin or not, no matter what is happening, even with his loneliness from being separated from his court, not that we knew that in here, and not that we don't know that until like the end of Court of Mist and Fury, but even with that, like, Reese helps too much. Too much. There's a couple in here where I put, like, he didn't have to do that, but he did. Like, I feel like if Freya had just took 5 minutes to see Reese as something other than the big monster or the big bad, and this villain that she built him up in her head, she would realize, wait a minute, this motherfucker's actually helping me. He's going out of his way to help me. Yes, he's an asshole, and yes, he's being a dick about it, but he's still being nice. The fuck? To me, Reese in here is the ultimate grumpy. Like, completely grumpy. When they talk about the romance trope of grump and sunshine, Reese is the grump. Like, he is completely a grump, and he's completely an ass, but he's also helping her, even though she's a human. Like, supposedly they're all supposed to be cruel and use humans as a plaything, but yet Reese isn't. And before you come at me and say Tamlin and Lucian wasn't either, they also had alternative motives here. They really, truly did. Now, Reese is trying to overthrow Armessa. I could be saying her name wrong. I'm sorry if I am. And that could be why but he does more shit than he needs to even get that done. Like, all he has to do is keep Freya alive and make sure she survives her 3 trials. That's literally all he had to do. All he had to do. And he still does more. Why? Also, like, keeping her drunk, he didn't need to do that. I'm just saying, like, there was other ways he could have gone about that, and he didn't. The other thing I've noticed is that Lucien was a better friend to her and there for her more than Tamlin was. Like, Tamlin didn't get off his ass to do anything. Even in this one, he didn't. And I know that it's out of fear, and I know that's how he was trying to keep the peace and keep Freya from being in harm's way any more than he had to. But it just plays into my he's a coward view. Like, it really, really does. I love this reread, though. It was a 5-star read. I can't wait to get to Rhys. Like, I really can't. I will forever reread these. I absolutely loved it. It was just everything I needed. It was the first, like I said, this is the first time I have reread it since I read it in 2018. So it's been 5 years, and I can't wait for the next two. I can't wait to go back to our found family. Yeah, so I'm excited for that. If you're wanting to read along with me, I would be more than happy to have you. I'm picking up A Court of Mist and Fury in August. A Court of Wings and Ruin in August as well, if I can squeeze both of them in. And then I'm going into A Court of Starlight and Frost. Is that the novella? And then Silver Flames in September. October, I think that my months are running together. October, I want to do Throne of Glass and the second one in that one, which is not, it's not coming to me. I can't think of what it is. Something Fire? Anyways, the first two in the Throne of Glass series. And then November, I want to do Crescent City and House of Earth and Breath, House of Sky and Breath. December, I'll go on with the third and the fourth of the Throne of Glass. So yeah, I will get a community post up with that in there so that y'all have it, in case you want to join in and reread or read for the first time. Going into the series, there's a few things I do want to let you know. A Court of Thrones, so the first one's not that steamy. As soon as you hit A Court of Mist and Fury, it gets pretty steamy. Still not too terribly steamy. I would give it maybe 2 out of 5. A Court of ACOWAR, so A Court of Wings and Ruin, I would give 3 out of 5. And then Silver Flames is a 5 out of 5. No, I'm going to say 4 out of 5. If you've read, like, Katie Roberts or anything like that, it's a 4 out of 5. But if you don't read that, you don't read Steamy, 5 out of 5. Crescent City is more of a 3 out of 5 because it's a lot more angsty flirtation toward the end of it. And then Sky and Breath is a 5 out of 5 too. Miss Maas knows how to write some spice. So if you're not in for the spice, maybe not read the Crescent City or A Court of Thorn and Roses. But Throne of Glass is not as steamy. It is still considered YA. These are considered adult now. But Throne of Glass is still YA. That is not very steamy at all. There is a romance that blooms, but it's not really that steamy. It's very much fade to black. So if you're looking for something more that speed, then pick up the Throne of Glass reads with us. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. That's what stood out here. I am excited to start Court of Mist and Fury. There will be another annotate with me for that one as well. It will probably be, I'm going to see how fast I read it. It may be every 100 pages. And if that's the case, I think it'll be 4 parts. Or it'll be every 200 pages and then it'll be 2 parts. Like this one. But I will let y'all know. And yeah, that is all I have to say. Let me know what you think below. Are you enjoying these videos? Is it too old of a series to be talking about? Let me know. And I will see you on my next one. Bye, guys. Okay, we're done. And I'm done for the night.